Ewan, am I getting you
Hello,
from
Darren.
Japan today?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Wow, filming or vacation?
I have family here, so I spend some time here. Yeah. So not exactly, it's neither actually, but it's just lifetime.
Somewhere between business and
Living,
pleasure.
just living, as Matthew McConaughey likes to say. Just
Just
keep
living.
living. Yeah, something
Well,
like that.
we were connected to talk about creation stories, and you do an exemplary job playing Alan McGee. Had you met Alan
Oh, thank
before
you, sir.
taking on the role?
No, no, not before taking it on. Um, and while we were putting this film together over the course of about 3 years and failing to get it on its feet, many times, and failing to raise the money for it and failing to make it happen. Alan was really supportive through that time. I was living in America. I'm still based there, and Alan was all over the world
Yeah.
doing his different projects, and so finding a time to kind of meet when the film was maybe going to happen and maybe not going to happen. Until it was happening, we didn't actually kind of make that, make our meeting happen, and spend time together. So because it's kind of painful. It's kind of painful if the film doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And you invest, you both, for him to invest in me and me to invest in that too heavily, the film's not happening, then it kind of feels painful, for both of us. So we kind of held off until we knew it was happening. And then when we knew it was happening, we had about, literally days, to get the wigs together, to get the costumes together, to get the locations together, to get, everything that we needed to make that film happen. Prosthetic ears, I had little things behind my ears that would kind of make them just a little bit more McGee-like, and
McGee-like.
some prosthetic. Yeah, I think I had some prosthetic teeth stuff done as well. I can't quite remember, but it was a couple of years ago now when we actually made it. But so yeah, I did meet him, and we did hang out, and we did spend a good time, and it was excellent. Really time well spent, and
Well,
really
one thing that you and Alan have in common for me is you're both instrumental in my development as a music listener, because the Train Spotting soundtrack really, really opened up things for me with, what great Britpop and electronic music there was coming out at the time. Then Alan, all the creation stuff mattered to me a lot. So for you, how much did you know about Creation Records before taking on the role?
Very little. I knew very little about it. I was aware of Alan McGee as a cultural icon, and his legend, and obviously coming from Scotland, these iconic figures are real heroes in Scotland because they went down south, they went to London, they went to wherever they went, and they made stuff happen, and that, when you're living in Scotland, that's like, wow, because Scotland can be quite parochial and have its own sense of identity. For someone to reach out of that and go down and kind of start bending the culture into the shape they want it to be is like really exciting. It's almost like supporting a football team or something, probably. But I don't support any football teams, so I don't know. Yeah, so he was a legend, but I didn't really know him. I didn't know him as a person. I wasn't listening to the music that he was putting out. It wasn't. I mean, it was on my radar, and so much I was aware of it, but it wasn't the stuff that I was listening to. So, yeah, I was a clean slate.
Well, one of his big discoveries was one of my favorite bands, Teenage Fan Club, who are from Scotland. I didn't know if that was a band that you were familiar with, but you didn't know that they were on Creation.
I only really knew them by their name. I didn't know the music until much later. So I'm more familiar with them now. But that world of music, kind of, I don't know, what would you call that genre? Like indie,
power pop, but they were also kind of
power,
shoegaze in a way.
yeah, I kind of really, shoegaze just rubbed me up the wrong way. Like I just felt like it's like prideful underachieving, you know, and I just felt like, you know, and that was kind of quite a snobbish, over principled response to it, but it just rubbed me up the wrong way. So I kind of just blocked that world out, and I didn't appreciate the kind of degrees of like art that was being made there. I appreciate it more now, but at the time I just kind of thought, no.
Are
No.
you that way with movies and other things, or is it just music where you don't like the underachievers?
Like it's unfair to say underachiever, because I'm an underachiever, you know, like I'm definitely an underachiever, and you know, so that's not a crime, as I see it, but I am a bit snobbish about certain stuff. Things can rub me up the wrong way, and then there's stuff that I absolutely adore and love, you know, when I feel, and you know, things that I feel inspired by, cinema, music. So
I understand what you're saying, where it's not just entertainment to you, that you care about the craft and what goes into it, and you're not just looking to laugh or cry. You go, well, why am I laughing? Like, why am I crying? You're looking for the motivation behind the art, not just...
Yeah, exactly. Like reason why. You know, that's what you're saying. Like, why am I? Why is this? You know, like reason. I want reason, and I don't want it to. I don't mean that everything has to be, you know, intellectual at all. Like I don't mind the opposite of that.
So that means no professional wrestling, no WWE for you.
No, not no. You're right. Yeah. I mean, maybe if I'm a participant, only as a participant, participation only.
Well, it's fair.
Participation only. You know, do not be a spectator.
Well, with the motivation behind the art, a lot of what you're saying reminds me of what Noel Gallagher from Oasis would say. He's very critical of art, but sometimes he can just turn off and like the dumbest stuff ever. So for you, is it kind of like it has to be the smartest or the dumbest, not a lot in between?
Well, it might end up like that. I do love the idiot, you know, like people that the idiot in art, you know, in film, and yeah, I got a soft spot for the idiot, and a lot of the characters I play are idiots, you know, and I you know, love what that makes possible, you know, because that opens a lot of possibilities where people are not constrained by what's right and what's sensible. You know, it opens up a lot of elasticity in what you can play with, you know.
Well,
so
yeah, that makes sense, because you've done a lot of very cerebral movies for the UK and Scottish market, yet you've been in a lot of dumb, awesome American action movies at the same time. You've been able to navigate both those waters. So kudos to you. And, you know, Creation Stories is why we're connected. But are you allowed to say what film or what project is next for you?
Well, something that's happening is coming out in America in a couple of weeks on HBO Max is Our Flag Means Death, which is a project that's helmed by Taika Waititi, And,
Oh yeah,
it's about
What We Do in the Shadows. Big fan.
yes, yeah, exactly, and it's about idiot pirates and love. You know, it's a kind of a love story about idiot pirates.
But no werewolves, I hope.
No, although I do have a fantastic weapon in the series that kind of could stand in, you know, if a werewolf was unavailable, I could take their place for an afternoon, with my metal fangs, and do some proper damage. But no werewolves. But it's a great fun, ridiculous show. Lots of idiocy, lunacy, and some great people involved in it.
Wow. And the last thing I want to know before I let you go, do you think we'll ever see a memoir from you?
No, I don't think so. My memory is really terrible. As an actor, like I've learned to adapt my memory to short-term learning of text, you know, dialogue, and I can only hold so much of it. That means that my short-term memory can get into good shape, you know, when I'm working, but my long-term memory is sacrificed. You know, I really tragically, I will never remember that stuff. That would go into a memoir.
Oh well.
Only fragments, you know. Have to make it all up.
Bottom line is you were excellent as Alan McGee, and looking forward to that show from HBO Max and whatever's to come from you. Thanks for the many years of great entertainment.
Thank you, Darren. Thanks very much.
Paltrocast.